Let me see who will save you now.
3 officers surrounded a black woman in a quiet parking lot, hoping to intimidate her. But what they didn't know was that the woman they cornered wasn't the easy target they thought she was. Because in the next few minutes, those officers would learn a lesson they were never trained for and never expected. Welcome back, Golden Stories family. Wherever you're watching from, grab your seat because this one is powerful. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, what city or country are you watching from right now? I love seeing how far our stories travel. The parking lot behind the municipal building was almost empty. Just a few scattered cars, the hum of distant traffic, and the soft, steady click of heels as Morgan Tate walked toward her sedan. Morgan wasn't in a hurry. She rarely was. Years in federal work had sharpened her instincts until she could read tension in the air, like a trained hunter senses a shift in the wind. And today, that tension hit her before she even reached her door. A white patrol cruiser rolled in from the east entrance, another from the south. A third slid in behind her vehicle, blocking her in with calculated precision. Their engines died almost in unison. 3 white officers stepped out: Blaine Carter, Mark Renner, and Thomas Hale. They didn't walk toward her like men responding to a call. They walked like men following orders, the kind whispered behind closed doors, born from arrogance, racism, and the belief that black women should stay in their place. Morgan felt it instantly. Still, she didn't stiffen. She didn't panic. She didn't flash her badge or raise her voice. She simply rested her hand on her door handle and turned, her face composed and unreadable. Blaine spoke first, his boots crunching across gravel. "Ma'am, we're going to need to ask you a few questions." "About what routine check?" Morgan asked quietly. Mark stepped to her left. "This your car?" Thomas moved to her right, completing the triangle. "You work around here?" Their formation told her everything. This was not curiosity. This was not protocol. This was a setup. She answered calmly anyway. Blaine clicked his tongue. "We'll decide when you get to go home." Morgan tried to unlock her door. Blaine grabbed her arm, hard, yanking her back 2 full steps. His voice dropped low. "We're not done here. You don't walk away from us. We're the law." Golden Stories audience, what would you do if 3 armed officers surrounded you, convinced you had no power? Because Morgan, she already knew exactly who she was and exactly what she was capable of. Mark stepped in. "You're acting nervous. Innocent people don't act nervous." "I'm not nervous," she replied softly. "I'm tired, and I'm not engaging in unofficial questioning." Thomas chuckled. "She thinks she gets to choose." Then it happened. Sharp, sudden, ugly. Thomas's hand shot upward, clamping around her throat. He squeezed. Morgan's head tilted back from the force, but she didn't claw at him. She didn't gasp. She didn't beg. Her breathing pressed thin beneath his palm, but her hands stayed at her sides. Her calm was unnerving, unnatural for someone being choked. Blaine leaned in, tightening his grip. "What now, sweetheart? What you gonna do now?" For a heartbeat. Morgan stayed still. Then she inhaled. A deep, controlled, measured breath, the kind that comes from dangerous training, not fear. Before Blaine could process it, her right hand snapped up, locking around his wrist with surgical precision. Her thumb pressed into a nerve he didn't know existed. His smirk twitched, then broke. "What the?" Her left hand came up. She dipped her weight, twisted. Blaine's wrist jerked sideways, bending in a direction no human wrist should ever go. His grip shattered. A sharp cry tore from his mouth. Morgan pivoted, his body lifted, and she flipped him clean over her hip. His back slammed against the pavement, air blasting from his lungs. Mark lunged too late. Morgan swept his legs, sending him crashing flat onto his spine. Thomas froze. This wasn't luck. This wasn't adrenaline. This was a woman highly trained, highly capable, and highly underestimated. He swung wildly. She sidestepped, struck a nerve in his forearm, and the baton fell uselessly to the ground. Moments later, he was pinned to the hood of a cruiser, Morgan cuffing him with his own restraints. Blaine tried crawling away, but she stepped on his wrist and cuffed him too. 3 officers, 3 guns, 3 men who thought she was powerless, defeated in under 30 seconds. Morgan straightened her jacket, her breathing already calm. Then she called dispatch. "This is Agent Morgan Tate, FBI. I have 3 officers detained for assaulting a federal agent. Send a supervisor." When Lieutenant Ramirez arrived, one look at the scene told him everything. "Remove their weapons," he ordered. Take them into custody. The officers protested weakly, but it didn't matter. Their illusion of power had broken the moment they touched the wrong woman. Morgan stood tall, her voice steady. The problem wasn't that you didn't know I was FBI. The problem was you thought you could intimidate a black woman and walk away. Sirens faded. The arrested officers were taken away. And one truth remained. When you weaponize the law against the wrong woman, you end up in handcuffs instead. If you believe the law should protect people, not be used to bully or intimidate them, smash that like button, subscribe to Golden Stories, and share this video so more voices can rise.